Hello, this is Puddle. Welcome back. We're going to be talking about our first tattoos today. If you're new and you want to follow along for more videos like, sub, bell, today's video will also feature The Average Life, so say hi!
Hi Puddle, thank you for inviting me on your channel. My name is Abbey. I have a YouTube channel called TheAverageLife, or you can follow me on Instagram at AbbeyIsAverage. See a lot of pictures of my cat. We're talking about our first tattoos today. So my first tattoo, I actually went and got two done on the same day, and I went with my best friend at the time. We got matching tattoos. We both got half of an avocado because we're basic. And I got a little bull shark with a Panic at the Disco quote, "We're swimming with the sharks until we drown," from their song Vegas Lights. I'm kind of obsessed with sharks. I know everything you could possibly know about them. I just cannot stand swimming. Good summary of who I am as a person.
I knew for the longest time that I wanted my first tattoo to be on my golden birthday. It might not mean much to most people, but being someone who's always had identity issues growing up, I'd always secretly been hoping that by 26 I'd be, actually me. And I'd gotten pretty far by this point. I'd come out of the closet, realized a lot about myself, gone to therapy, came out of the closet again, socially and legally transitioned, and I was excited to finally get my first tattoo this year, something very much linked to that identity. This tattoo was of my own design. I also considered a bunch of color designs too before I settled on this one, and I kind of loved the idea of a neck tattoo, but something about it being just slightly behind the ear felt right. But, right on the skull, I braced myself for it to be pretty painful, which the physical pain wasn't the issue that I ended up having with this baby. So this was back on my birthday before quarantine. The first place that I called ahead for and had plans with closed. They just closed, which is wild. I figured I'd never encounter that. We had an appointment. They wouldn't even answer their phones closed.
I'm there in my My Chemical Romance shirt with my light blue hair, and it didn't help that we asked for, the basic Instagram avocado with a heart thing. But then we sit down for it. I showed them that I wanted to get, the shark and the quote, so they decided to play a metal screamo version of Baby Shark, and they played that through my entire first tattoo. It also ended up really awkward because halfway through my tattoo, talking to the artist, we realized that his mother is my mom's boss. Because he's asking me oh, what does your mom think? Does she ever talk about work? And she had been spending the last month complaining about this woman. But I'm like, yeah, your mom's wonderful. The best boss they've ever had.
I wanted this tattoo on my golden birthday. I was pretty stubborn about it. And another place nearby accepted walk-ins, and I was lucky enough that there was an availability. There were 6 stations for artists, and this station that I was waiting at had, flash tattoos on the wall, so sale designs, including a bunch of Bleeding Jesus tattoos, Iron Cross flash deals, and an assortment of bootleg cartoon characters giving the finger. And on his table was what looked like a cone incense stand with, can I lose monetization for saying this word? A symbol of a hate group. And then I turned to see the station manager is this old, big, bearded white guy, and my morals and sense then caught up in time for my eyes to settle lower on a Ron Paul 2012 sticker on his mini fridge. Well, there's probably my answer, right? But I already had the temp ink on my neck drying. I'm doing math in my head about my environment, thinking that I should bounce. But then I'm told this station isn't the one that I'm going to be tattooed at. I was instead assigned to a man who went by Mantis, which, hell yeah, his entire station was decked out in themed toys, stickers, posters. Mad respect. I felt immediate relief. And these artists are renting out station space. It's not like they have full control over their neighbors' stations, right?
So I got the avocado is on my wrist, and then the quote and the shark are on my forearm. People make it out to be a lot more painful than it is. Also, I'm really ticklish. I can't even go get massages because I'll just jerk away uncontrollably. And I just kind of imagine myself doing that while they're pushing a needle to my skin, So that always freaked me out a lot. But honestly, it didn't hurt, and I didn't move, at all. And some of that might have just been the pressure of not wanting to make their job harder, keeping me still, but no one should ever get matching tattoos. And I will tell you why. They are actually cursed. Everyone already tells you not to get matching tattoos with someone. Relationships end. But this girl and I, we went to high school together, and then we moved out together to go to college. We went to Europe together. We had been living together for 2.5 years, and we never had any issues. We were perfectly fine. And then we get these tattoos. And I kid you not, just a few months later, we have the biggest falling out I have ever had with anyone. And it was 0 to 100. I swear it was the matching tattoos. That's why people say don't get them, because they're actually, the universe is against them existing.
Fast forward, I'm laying on the table, and he starts going behind my ear and asks, "You feel it?" I said, "Yep, not that bad." And he goes, "Yeah, women go for the behind the ear because it doesn't hurt." And I didn't mention the trans stuff in the beginning for nothing. Little ping of discomfort, but no problem. I'm used to being misgendered, and right as I justify this, my eyes see a small printout over the trash can against the wall of his station. Hey, real quick, over on the Average Life's channel, we also did a video drawing art YouTubers by memory. I'm gonna put a card for this near the end of this video, so check it out after this one, okay? The one thing that isn't themed at this man's station is a picture of Jesus with makeup that reads, "Transgender Jesus is not amused." And it's like, what? Why? Why do you even have that there? Do you know it's unnecessarily mean? Do you know it targets trans customers to feel unwelcome? You gotta know that, right? But this dude is the youngest of the artists there, and his station and his vibe up until now had been fine, and he was already inking me. So I took a breath, closed my eyes, and insisted that this tattoo was for me, and I was not about to have this weirdness ruin it. Other than some stinging on the neck portion, behind the ear felt very light in terms of any sort of pain scale. If anything, the vibrations gave me a little bit of a headache, but who's surprised when your head is shaking for an hour?
I was wondering about like the healing process of getting a tattoo because my friends that had gotten just really intense about it. So I always thought it was this big, risky healing process. But so they just sit us down and they give us a paper. Don't go in pools for a while. And like I explained earlier, that is not a problem for me. It was a great excuse to not have to go swimming. The funniest thing they said was that they stressed really intensely not getting it in any sort of direct sunlight for a while. And like, if you look at us, we are the palest people you will ever meet in your life. We're clearly not tanners. It'll be okay. And this is maybe 20 minutes after I get it done, because I went to my mom's house to go see her cat. Within 5 minutes, runs up to me and scratches me down my arm. So now on the avocado, there's just this little dark brown mark where she like pulled the ink up. It's the only time I've ever gotten a scar from a cat, and of course it was right after a tattoo.
And healing went fine. I kept it lotioned and clean. It was weird when it started peeling, though. It itched, and when I went to give it a light slap tap to relieve that itch, it caused a whole sparkle and star to come off on my hand. Cue me panicking, asking my partner if it was still there because I couldn't check it myself. I sometimes forget I even have the tattoo now, since it's in such a place, but I really sincerely love it. It feels right, you know? Feels like me. Check out the Average Life's channel and the video that we did over there. Please go give it a look and a like.
Thanks. And thanks again, Puddle, for my first collab. Everyone should definitely check out their other videos, especially their storytelling tutorial advice videos, because as a screenwriting major, the information you're getting from Puddle's channel is stuff that I have spent thousands of dollars on over the past 4 years. Puddle's channel, you get the same information for free with colorful backgrounds and from someone who obviously cares and has real examples of their storytelling ability and the success they get from that. So,
Thank you for listening. Take care, and I'll see you next week.